Irreverent, entertaining, cool. You're listening to LA Talk Radio.
You're listening to the Sheena Metal Experience with your host, Sheena Metal, right here on LA Talk Radio.
That's right. It's the Sheena Metal Experience right here on LA Talk Radio. For more info on the show, latalkradio.com, SheenaMetalExperience.com. Don't forget to email me and let me know what you think of the show. If you're looking for me online, it's so easy. I'm just at Sheena Metal everywhere on social media. And I'm also the founder of a movement of peace, love, kindness, and unity. We're at IamRaisingTheVibration.com and at our new nonprofit hub, which is raisingthevibration.org. Go and look at our new website there. It's up and running and very exciting. I'm also a psychic medium. If you're looking for my spiritual practice, IamRaisingYourVibration.com and SheenaMetalSpiritual.com. Sometimes here on the show, maybe one day a week, we do something I like to call Lightworkers Unite, where I bring in other psychics, mediums, healers, whatever, friends of mine, people I work with and trust. And we do some reading, some healing, some counseling, whatever you need, we take care of you. Right here on LA Talk Radio. I do it every week on Haunted Playground. I do it on the Sheena Metal Experience. And my guest is a wonderfully talented light worker and my favorite wizard in the whole world, the wonderful Jason D. McKean is here. Hello, my friend. How are you?
Thank you for having me back to the Sheena Metal Experience. You are one busy woman.
I am, right? Did you see I've just taken on more? I just got hired on as the New Age pastor at the MCC Founders MCC Church in Hollywood.
So does that mean that your Sunday mornings are all taken up now?
Oh, no, actually, I'm doing Saturday nights. We New Agers are rock stars.
That's right.
I'm going to start a night called June 15th called Saturday Night Spiritual. And it's going to be a little bit of everything. It's going to be some guest speakers talking about different kinds of, I want it to be very interfaith, different kinds of beliefs. We're going to have some music. There will be music because it's me.
Is it like the real gospel-y type of music, like real lively and all, or is it just like,
I would love that, but it's probably going to be a lot of singer-songwriters I know and very kind of, awake and aware music to start out.
Yeah, positive.
Till I can get my
vibe.
own house band. Then it's going to rock like that. Once the house band comes, then it's going to be like a complete revival church with plus crystals.
And you're going to be the lead singer. You're going to front it.
I'm
right?
going to front it, and I'm going to preach. Exactly. I'm going to be like, it's going to be like a James Brown concert. You're not going to know if I'm preaching or singing or dancing.
It's all in one.
Then all I need is a mega church, and with a coffee shop in it. No, I'm so excited to be.
Start with this first.
Yeah.
Before you take that leap.
I'm so excited to be associated with my friends at MCC. It's such a wonderful church, and I'm just completely honored, and I don't even know what to say about that. So that's as if I didn't have anything else to do. That's my new thing. There's always something, right?
Right. Yeah, but that's a great thing, because it's all about creating community, and wherever it is, if it's in a church, a mega church, not so mega church, if it's Saturday nights, Sunday mornings,
and I love it because they have a big old honkin' church where they do their Saturday sermons. Services, but they also have a black box theater downstairs, and that's where I'm going to be because I want it to be.
Box.
All right, they put me in the basement because I'm the New Ager. I want it to be sort of a mixture of because some New Agey folks don't want to go to a church. Just the word church or the word God scares them away, or the word Jesus makes them run for the hills. Yeah. But since MCC it really has expanded into an interfaith church, but started out as a Christian church as sort of a refugee place for folks, at first predominantly in the gay community that had been kicked out of their church for being different than, Christianity wanted them to be. But because it has mostly a Christian foundation, I thought, well, my service is going to be more sort of about like the Gnostic Jesus as a metaphysician, which is how I've always thought of Jesus as,
right.
Just a really groovy ascended master. There's going to be that. So there'll be some Buddha. There'll be a little bit of everything that I love. There'll be lots of crystals. I'm going to do a blessing where people can come up and I'll give you a blessing and put my arms around you, and it's going to be fantastic, I think.
So you get to create the service?
I get to create my own service, but I want to create it. I just had dinner with 3 of their pastors a couple of nights ago, including Keith Mazingo, who's the head pastor and senior pastor, and I want to make it sort of like I want to take what they do and then make mine based on their formula. Because they do a 9 o'clock Sunday morning, which is very traditional, and then they do a 11 o'clock, which is very modern, And then at one, Alejandro does a Spanish speaking, which is very, very, fun and flamboyant and exciting and very Latin community based, and with a lot of Catholicism in it, because a lot of the Latin folks grew up Catholic, including he did. Mm-hmm. So I want to take what they're already doing as far as format and then plug New Aginess into it.
Right.
So it feels like a church, but it feels like an interfaith church with a New Age foundation.
So if they have like a lot of saints and things like that, do you
they don't.
replace?
Because they're not Catholic.
Oh, okay, they don't.
No, I don't know that I'm going to replace. No, they don't really have saints. They're more like Protestant. It's more like a Protestant church, like an Episcopal church kind of. They do communion. Yeah. So in places where they are very Bible heavy, this will be more interfaith traditions, and also with when I use quotes from Jesus, they will be quotes that can and sermons that can be applied to, life for everyone in a metaphysical way.
Right.
Talking about love. Because to me, the teachings of Christ, basically, actual teachings of Christ, not what humans have done with them, basically break down to community connection and love. I mean, I think that's what most of the New Testament is about.
What most of the Beatitudes are and all,
Yeah.
where, it's based on very loving principles.
Right. Which should be for any spiritual bent, right? It's what the New Age community should be built on, or the pagan community. It's all built on connection to spirit, community with others, and loving everything.
Yes.
So that's what it will be. And I'm going to have people come up and talk about different things: witchcraft, wizardry, tarot.
Is that an invitation?
It's an invitation
for me to come to church.
It's an invitation. Buddhism.
Church.
Yeah. Right. See?
I'm a reverend, so
Good. It's not a church.
I
It's
can
a
do
theater. It's not a church. It's a theater. That's what I can say. When people say church.
It's the black
You're going to a church building, but
It's
you're
the
going
basement.
to the basement of the building where they let the New Agers go. All right. So we are going to this is the thing. If you want to get on live with us today, get a reading, a healing, some counseling, some help with whatever you need, all you have to do is send me a text message to get on our list. 818-437-0886. That's 818-437-0886. That's truly how easy it is to get you with us. So we've got some folks waiting, but we're going to get you on as soon as we hear from you. And then it's going to be fun. So I have so many folks that wanted to get on Tuesday. I was here with Patty and we did Haunted Playground, and I have some even that have been waiting for 2 days. So
you did the Haunted Playground here in the studio?
Uh-huh. Yeah, because that's my weekly show.
Yeah.
Haunted Playground.
Yeah.
Here. Not Antiques Go Show. That's my live show with Patty.
Okay. I mean, you do so much, it's hard to keep track of just everything.
If you only knew. I've got a wonderful branding expert building my psychic website right now, and she's like, I'm so excited, and I'm thinking, you tell me that when we're done, baby, because it's a lot.
You're going to be
a lot
overwhelmed.
of stuff. And now we're adding church. It's a lot of stuff plus now church. Okay, so we're going to get Mike on the phone because we know that I love to take the boys because it's nice to see men reaching out in this way. I love that. Again, 818-437-0886. If you want to get on the air with us, just send me a text message with your name. And first and last is good. We will only use your first name on the air, but people get lost in my phone. There's a lot happening in there. So, Mike, welcome to the show. How are you, Mike? Oh, Mike, can you hear us? Hello? I think we got Mike's voicemail.
Mike, are you there?
Mike just said terrific, but we got the voicemail. Mike. Okay, we're going to try to get somebody else on. Mike, we will get back to you. So let's give a shot and see if we can get Sarah on the line here. And it's funny. It's really weird out right now. It's not a Mercury retrograde, right? But it sure feels like one. Very strange. All right, Sarah, we're going to try to get you on with us now. Let's see how this goes. Oh, Mike wants me to call a different number. Well, yeah, we got to figure that out, Mike. So you're gonna be up in a minute.
I thought he was calling you.
No, I call them.
Oh.
I have to set them up and call them. That way we know who it's going to be.
I see.
Otherwise, we could pick it up and it could be like Beavis and Butthead could be calling us.
That would not be good.
That would not be good at all.
Yeah, you guys do a reading.
Exactly. Sarah, welcome to the show. Somebody else's voicemail. I mean, I swear to God, these folks just texted me and said they wanted to be on the air.
I think Mike is
Is Mike
directing
sabotaging it?
No, he's saying, call me back. calling me
All
back.
right, Mike. So we're going to put this other number in the phone. While we do this, why don't you give your information, Jason, so we can all find out about you?
Well, my website, Jason D. McKean, and that's JASONDMCKEAN.com. And I was just talking to Sheena about being on the road. I've been doing tarot workshops in Las Vegas, in Oakland. I was just there, San Luis Obispo, and I'm going to be up in Bakersfield this weekend.
Beautiful.
There's a mystic fair, and I will be reading all day. And when I say all day, I mean from like 11 a.m. to midnight. It's like, and it's wonderful.
That. I would love to do that.
Bakersfield has an amazing community up there through Enchanted Cottage, and it's just like, I really look forward to it.
Oh, I never would have thought that was a metaphysical hub.
You know, it's overall, it's not a metaphysical hub.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like you drive through it, and it's like Buck Owens Lane and Merle Haggard Lane and a lot of oil fields.
Donkey
and
Avenue.
all. But, man, oh, man.
Boulevard.
It's a beautiful, beautiful community.
I love
that. Comes
that.
Out.
And a great community. Who knew it was going to become such a country music hub? I mean, it's like Nashville Junior, Little Bakersfield.
Little Bakersfield.
Little Bakersfield's got all kinds of funky stuff going on.
Nashville
Who knew?
Junior.
Getting your new age on there, getting your country music on at the same time. Country people and new age people living together. Yeehaw! Mike, welcome to the show. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing good.
Great to hear from you. How may we help you? Say hi to Jason, and then how may we help you?
Hi, Jason.
Hi, Mike.
That's what you said, Jason, right?
Yes.
That's what he said, yeah.
Yes.
What can we do for you, my friend?
I'm just curious. I called a psychic before, and it didn't pan out, so.
Oh, okay. What made you think to do it again?
I think it was like 20 years I lost my mom.
Oh, honey, I'm so sorry.
And, that's all right. She's in a better place.
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree. But is that when you first did it, right after she passed?
No, it was before that. It was
Okay.
before that. And I was just curious because my sister was doing it, so wasting her money, so I decided to do it once. They came out and told me I'd find true love at church. I haven't been to church since I was like a kid.
Oh, yeah. I think you'll find that we're a little less like somebody in a tent with a Madame Zelda.
We're both reverends, aren't we?
Yeah.
But our church it's completely different.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. You're not, and we weren't trying to hook up with you there, Mike. That's not where we were going with that. But yeah, I mean, I think probably what the psychic meant to say was that you were going to connect with somebody, probably on more of a spiritual level. Has that not happened?
Yes, I did. I married her
Oh, well, there you go. See,
in Vegas.
the psychic wasn't so bad, right? Well, what do you have questions about now? I can see Jason's going to pull a card for you. I can feel it coming.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's going to pull more than one card for you.
I like to pull 3 cards at a time.
I like 3.
Did you have a question, Mike?
What's my reading?
Well,
that's your question. What is my reading? Well,
yeah, I mean, we can tell you anything. I just told you about your wife, but I mean, it helps if you get more from it if you tell us something you want to know something about.
How do I find anything out about a past life? That's the question.
Really?
well,
Yes.
the first card that comes up is the meditation card, the 2 of Wands, and past life regression is a thing. It is a tool that a lot of hypnotists use, and it's like the best place to start and to open up a place of interest. Sometimes we are pulled to certain areas of history that we don't know why, but we're fascinated by it, and sometimes if like a show comes up on it or a book or something, it's like we're drawn towards it, and that's a clue as to where to start. But with any kind of hypnosis that is personally directed, that is like the best place to start.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you that, Mike, if there were areas that you resonated with and what sort of put past lives on your radar in the first place.
Well, let's see. It took me. I'd never been to Gettysburg, and I went for more than my birthdays. I'm 45. I think it was like a year ago, and we've been to the orphanage and the Jenny Wade house and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We went to the battlefield. And I've been touched. I've been poked.
Sure.
I had attachments.
To the Civil War, to that era.
They come and visit me. Apparently, I have a friend named Benjamin that died at Gettysburg.
On what side? You know, I'm a Civil War student.
I have no idea.
I am too.
I have no history. I
Weird.
don't even know this.
That is weird.
Weird.
Yeah,
We didn't know that about each other.
that's right. No, I know a lot about the
I
Civil
do too.
War
Mm-hmm.
because I feel I was there.
Me too.
I feel like I was like a northern soldier.
Mm-hmm. I actually have relatives on both sides, but for me, I very much resonate with the North.
Yeah.
It's interesting. But when I was a kid, little, like a toddler, one of the first things I remember was that Abraham Lincoln was my imaginary friend.
Wow.
And all I wanted to do was know about. All I wanted to know was anything I could find about Abraham Lincoln. And like other kids wanted to go to Disneyland, and I was like, "Let's go see where Lincoln was shot." My mom was so good about taking me all those places.
That's awesome.
But it was like, and even now, one of my best friends and her son are historic reenactors, and they do a big Civil War reenactment in Huntington Beach, where I grew up.
Mm-hmm.
And their Lincoln, Robert, has been on the show. It's hard to make eye contact. It's like so bad that I think it makes his wife nervous, and she always comes with him now and kind of looks at me because I get bashful. I get crushed out just looking at like Lincoln impersonators. So tell me that's not something really weird, you know? So, and I have been to Gettysburg too. Jason, have you been to Gettysburg?
I have not.
Oh, Jason. Mike, it's amazing, right?
Awesome. Yep. Don't do the bus tour. Just drive it yourself.
Yeah, and walk it.
Yeah, and part two of, you know, like the past life regression. Once you have like keyed into a place, it's like you know, learning all you can about it, and you know, finding others who are interested in it that you can talk to about it. You know, kind of like finding a support group.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to so that the interest, you know, let it lead you to something that you know, it feels like, you know, one can tap into a community and all where you know, you're exercising this passion, and to not let that spark just you know, go away, you know, to just, you know, die. And you know, something about the Civil War, I know there's like a zillion like groups and all that one can tap into and all, but you know, I for a time I was part of the preservation of the battlefields, you know, where I would donate money to make sure that these places, you know, that they wouldn't build a McDonald's or a KFC on you know, Cemetery Hill there at Gettysburg, or you know, Culp's Hill, or you know, Little Round Top, you know, where there's a fast food restaurant. Because they would.
Yeah.
And to keep it hallowed ground.
Yep.
You know, so that's go ahead.
It's really funny because I never met a Benjamin my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
But I apparently he was interested in me and my wife somehow, and I had an attachment in Philly. I'm a ghost enthusiast. I like Ghost Adventures, the Brave Chasers, the Paranormal Lockdown.
Sure.
I watched every just to find answers. And I had my mother, God bless her soul, she attached a 5-year-old girl to me, or a teenage girl. Never knew it.
Mm-hmm.
So I had 3 attachments.
Wow. Well, the best way to keep away from attachments. This will very lots of stuff in this call, Jason.
Yes.
Is you have to become better seated and grounded in yourself. The more grounded you become inside of you, Mike, the less that attachments will be able to stick to you. You know, when you're. I'm sorry.
When I was growing up, I was like, nothing fazed me. I was invincible. You know, I was free like a hippie.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just like,
Yeah, that's part of why the attachments can attach to you, because you're going through sort of like a psychic dip almost. Does that make any sense? Where you're not,
Yeah, it does.
you're a little, and that can happen, sweetheart. It happens. And when it happens to us, that's when we become susceptible to all things in the three-dimensional world and of the spirit world that can come and attach themselves to us, or, mess with us, or, and it's not okay, but it's also something it's like sort of like if you had a compromised immune system, you might get every cold that passed by, or you might get every staph infection you got near, or, the stronger you can keep your spiritual immune system, the less you have to worry about attachments. And also meditation, if you meditate, that's also a great way to find out about past lives. If you sit and meditate, you and just think on past lives, think about the Civil War, memories will come to you, but you have to be in that very secure and that very connected to your core way.
Because they basically tell me to do yoga.
Good. Yoga's good. That's another good way. Well, that's a great way to meditate, is during yoga.
It is a great way.
But
It's a great way to be
started
centered,
it.
too.
What, sweetheart?
I've never started it. I bought a DVD for beginners and the mat and everything. Never started it.
You know what? Go do us a favor. Go tonight, go to YouTube and just Google guided meditation and find one that you like, and start out by doing like a 5-minute one, and just spend some time just in a quiet place doing it. But as you do it, when it tells you to get into a calm place, right? So it's telling you to get calm, and it's telling you to relax, and a very soothing voice is talking to you and telling you to do all these things. As you're relaxing and as you're finding yourself grounding into your core and putting roots down, because your root chakra is all over the place. So you're actually imagining yourself putting roots into the ground like a tree. Start thinking about Gettysburg. Start thinking about the Civil War and see what comes. And you know what? Get a little notebook and a pen and keep it by you, and just start free flow writing everything you think. Don't even worry about if it makes sense. If you can read it, you can go back over it later and decipher all of it. Just start writing. Because I bet when you go back over it, you're going to find that memories start to make sense. And that's a form of past life regression, if the actual idea of past life regression scares the heck out of you.
Because for some reason, I put a Paranormal app on one of my phones. It's just weird, because I had to ask questions, because I'd be outside, my phone would freeze up completely. I mean, I'd be outside away. I still have Wi-Fi, but my phone will literally freeze up.
Right.
And after this, I had got a tablet, and I wrote down 160 names that talk to me through my app.
It's good. Yes.
Wow. So you were like an antenna there, receiving all these.
Right. I mean, obviously you have gifts. That's why you're getting poked and prodded and celestially invaded by all of them. I mean, that's not a big secret that you have gifts, right? It's just learning what you want to, learning how to handle them, so that you don't, you're not being pushed and shoved by every disembodied Tom, Dick, and Harry. And then also the next thing is deciding what you want to do with them. Do you just want to use them to enjoy your paranormal investigation, or do you want to explore them further?
I call them my family.
Yeah.
I treat them like they're my own family, but it's like talking to them is like talking to a long lost friend.
Yeah, I agree.
And I never met people in my life.
Just make sure that make sure you're keeping yourself protected. I'm a big fan of the selenite and the black tourmaline. Mike, make sure you're protected at all times.
Absolutely.
But what a great call, and we're thinking about you, and we're wishing you love, and let me know what we can do to help you in the future. But make sure you protect yourself before you start opening up your gifts more, because you got some powerful radar that comes out, and I want to make sure that you're taking care of you. It's one of the hardest things, I think, is with gifts, right? Is to learn to take care of you.
Absolutely.
It's the boring part. It's like brushing your teeth.
It is that self-care.
Mm-hmm.
It's like how we recharge ourselves. It's how we don't get wiped out.
Yeah.
From expressing our gift. It's like and something like that. It's like if we're like this open radar, this antenna that's receiving, it's like we may not know what to do with all of it.
Yeah.
And it's like what is it that one is going to do with their gift, and how is one going to recharge themselves from that gift? So it's like that one can keep the flow of energy, moving.
I agree.
I'm a big fan of energy and the flow of energy, and making sure that, as a psychic, as as a tarot reader that one doesn't just give, and just wipe themselves out.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that you continue to stay grounded, because there's all kinds of stuff, whether we like it or not, Jason, that doesn't have your best interest at heart.
Yeah.
And it would like to come and or just stuff that's desperate, like the drowning man, that would just love to come climb on top of you and live there because you're a safe place to land.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big fan of attachments.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not judging anybody who has an attachment. I'm not judging. My mother just said, tell them I'm not an attachment. Just so you all know, my mother is not an attachment. She's a very frequent visitor. She's like the guest that comes for an hour and then stays for a lifetime. She's laughing and kind of telling me to go F myself at the same time. But when a spirit that you don't know, or one that you know and you don't want attached to you, decides to actually go into your body and attach to you, that's not okay. And they really shouldn't be there. I mean, I'm not even a big fan of trans channeling. I mean, if you want to do it, I love you for who you are, but I don't take spirits in my body when I work, because they don't belong there, and it's too hard to get them out, and it just doesn't seem to make much sense to me. So, yeah, be careful what you let in.
I feel that our number one responsibility to ourselves is to know our own spirit.
I agree.
And to take care of that spirit.
I agree.
And when we start doing that, when there's other entities and all, it's like they just have other agendas, and it's like we start to lose our own self, and I've only seen where that creates problems for people, where they become confused about their own direction in life. And that's our one responsibility. Our first responsibility to ourselves is to our spirit.
I agree.
Our core.
The most important responsibility that you have, the most important relationship you have in the world, is to yourself.
Yeah.
And then the next is to spirit, and then the third is to the world, and then the next is to people. So I always say we do it backwards. We put others in our life first.
Yeah.
We put the world second. We put God third, and then we put ourselves last. So just think of what you're doing and reverse the order. Because if you don't have a good connection to spirit and you don't have a good connection to you, that's your ground by which all other relationships are built. And those two things have to be strong all the time. And most importantly is your relationship to you, because you can't really connect to spirit unless you've connected to you. So, and every time, some people can do it and they're fine. But every time you take a spirit inside of your aura, that's an invasion, and you have to be okay to do that, and I'm just not, I think there are very few people that know how to do that and still maintain a healthy relationship with core.
Yes. Yeah, that's the key to it, is maintaining your own like connection to yourself, and remaining strong. It's like I just see where it weakens people.
Yeah.
And that's where it just is like really it can be tragic sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard. Yeah. Yeah. Just be careful. And also know that a lot of spirits also have manners. There's a code of ethics for spirits too. So a spirit who's going to come and materialize inside of you without asking permission and just pop up and like, hey, what's for dinner? Maybe that's a spirit that doesn't have your best interest at heart. Mm. It's sort of like, I'm not a big fan of friends that come over without calling.
Without boundaries.
Yeah. Call me and say, I want to come over. And I'll say, okay. But just don't show up on my door and then get mad if I'm doing something or I'm leaving or I'm not home. It's kind of the same way with spirits. Most of the rules that apply to people also apply to spirits. Except if I woke up one day and one of my friends was literally, inside of my soul, that would be pretty freaky. That's really not a good idea. All right, we're going to get Sarah on with us now. Great to talk to Mike. That was fun. If you want to get on live with us, 818-437-0886. That's 818-437-0886. We're going to get Sarah on, and then I'm putting this link around so everybody can see it and everybody knows where we are. And that's how you can get a free reading, a healing, whatever you want. I want to just do a show with you, me, and Mike talking about the Civil War.
Right?
Yeah. Do you know I do shows with Daryl, who's my friend's son, who's wonderful, and then also sometimes with their Grant, their General Grant and their Lincoln together. Oh, yeah. It's so much fun. Yeah, Grant now lives in Gettysburg too. Their Grant. Welcome, Sarah, to the show. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. It's so great to hear from you.
Yes, thank you.
Say hi to Jason, and how may we help you?
Hi, Jason.
Hi, Sarah.
I'm just curious. I'm going through a pretty messy divorce and just lots of uncertainty in my life. And I've always been kind of a control freak, and so this is a little difficult for me.
Sure.
And I just feel completely out of control. I have no idea what's going to happen. And so I'm just wondering if you have any guidance for me on that, maybe. That's probably the biggest thing that's going on right now.
Yeah. Well, if I may for a sec, Jason?
Yes.
First of all, sweetheart, you know, Earth is like soul school, right? And we're here to learn lessons. So oftentimes the thing that you fear the most is going to keep cropping up in your life, and the universe is trying to help you move past that blockage and into a place where you're not so worried about that. So one of your big things is control. So what happens now? Everything's out of control, and you have to learn to live out of control. And you will, and as you learn to live out of control, you will realize that there's something about it it's not horrible, and maybe even there's a part of it that you even could like a little bit, the idea of not having to be in control all the time, although I know right now that makes you feel like, ugh, but still. So go with it. Sometimes when the feelings are very uncomfortable, and realize, like, maybe this is the lesson, that I'm supposed to feel this uncomfortability and come out the other side not needing the control anymore. So that's a part of it. I mean, nobody wants to go through a messy divorce, and that's never fun. And so I'm certainly not saying like, hey, everybody, go through a messy divorce and learn what it's like to be out of control. I'm just saying that while you're in this situation, because I think in our lives, three-dimensional experiences and spiritual experiences tend to parallel. And so, yeah, I mean, sometimes you have a breakup or a divorce, and sometimes it's ugly, and that sucks. And that's very much a three-dimensional thing. But then spiritually, you think, well, what can I get out of this? What can I learn from this? How can I make this a better thing in my life? How can I become a victor of this circumstance? And usually, if you ask the universe that, you will get very clear answers for, oh, okay, here's what you need to do. And isn't this great? We're showing you this. And I only say that so that in the end, it sort of makes what you've gone through three-dimensionally, sweetie, not suck as much.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I understand, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Because there's like some things in life that you've missed out on really enjoying in the way you could because you were trying to control things in your life.
Yes.
So I'm going to turn over to Jason because I see cards have been flipped, my friend. So here comes some more magic.
Okay.
That's right. Cards have
Thank
been
you.
flipped. That is the cue. Sarah, you know, with relationships, it's like those are incredibly difficult anyway. There's you know, we can't control someone else when we're in a relationship with our partner or mate. You know, it's like we can, you know, we can bring ourself to the relationship, and hopefully they bring, you know, their best self, their honest self, the person that we would hope that they would be, but there's no controlling that, you know, and the best relationships are ones where you know, we willingly go into them, and you know, we just operate at our best self, and sometimes they're very much in sync, and they can get wobbly too. They can get out of sync. You know, we're always in a state of change, of flux. You know, nothing's ever static.
Yeah.
But what I see with you know, what comes up here is, you know, taking your experience and, you know, feeling the pain, right? Like experiencing the hurt, right? It's like the card of the wounded healer comes up, and you know, by going through what it is that you're feeling, and you know, by not diminishing it, by saying, you know what, I am suffering, and I want to get through to the other side, but you can only do that by just, you know, going through it fully and ending up a stronger person, and one that you know, won't fear so much that experience, you know, going on you know, down the road. It's like along with the wounded healer, there's the card of peace of mind, of where you'll find a place of where you're not in an anxious state, and you'll be able to to love again, to just be in a place of where you feel stronger from it, where you won't be in a place of having to control things just because you have to control them. All right, it's like it's very much a place of letting go from that experience. This may be kind of helping you to get out of that place of needing to control, because it's like it doesn't do any good. It doesn't to be in an anxious state. And it may be what keeps relationships from having a flowing energy to them when one is relegated to well, it has to be this way, or I don't know how to operate other than it being that way.
Yeah, I feel also. I'm sorry.
I said right. No, I understand that fully.
I feel also, sweetie, like you're a person who you need to intellectually make sense of things sometimes to let them go, and you're still sort of trying to make sense of this divorce. And
yes, I am.
Not even as much the divorce, although a little bit, but mostly even just the marriage itself, and why, how, what, WTF, the whole thing. And the truth is, sweetie, that some things don't have sense, don't make sense. Some things are just at that time it was a good thing for you. Now it's you've grown to a place where it no longer works with you, and now it's the time to move forward. I mean, I think that you're sort of like, well, wait. I still don't get what happened. And I just think that now's not the time that you're going to figure out what happened, sweetheart. Maybe down the road, one day you'll wake up and the universe will be like, guess what happened? And then suddenly you'll go, oh, that's what happened. But for whatever reason, now is not the time that they want you to understand what happened past what I'm telling you, which is you outgrew your spouse spiritually. Mm-hmm. And in a way, you always were. You started out more grown, and there just was not a catch up, sweetie. And that's hard, because we don't want that. We want to grow at the same time with people. We want them to turn out to be who we envision they are. Oftentimes we want them to turn out to be who we can feel in their soul they can be. And then when it becomes less than that, it's very disappointing, and it's very easy to want some time to figure it out. But the universe works on their own timeline,
Yes, I do know. Yes, no, all of that makes perfect sense. I know a lot of my control comes from was that my anxiety was so high that I couldn't control that, so I tried to control everything else.
Sure. So, and how could it not be, sweetie? How could your anxiety not be high through something like this? You've been through the ringer.
Right. Yes.
And you need to my mom used to always say to me when I got stressed out, my mom was the best. She used to always say, give yourself a break, kid. And I give that advice to people. I will give that advice to you now, sweetheart. Give yourself a break, kid. Because it's not, you can't take responsibility for somebody else not being able to meet you where you're at.
Right.
You're
right. I know. What's
funny is one of the cards that comes up is the Four of Swords. And in the Three of Swords, the previous card is the heart that has the three swords like stuck in the middle of it, and it's a card of heartache and frustration and all pain. And the Four of Swords, the one that came up for you, Sarah, is one of taking the break, and it's funny because that's what Sheena was saying, but Sheena doesn't read tarot.
No,
she doesn't.
What
the cards
Sheena's
are.
just a weird channel that just says weird things, Sarah.
And it is about how one can be in that space of of letting go, and not, trying to figure out all the details of the hows and whys of maybe how something like a marriage starts to break apart and fall apart to the point of where it's not salvageable.
Yeah.
And allowing for other intelligence centers within us, our heart, our spirit, that have a bigger picture blueprint of where it is that we're going to be going down the road, who we're going to be meeting later in life. And if you're not in sync with that person now, with the person that you were married to, it's like, can you imagine being with them in 20 years, in 30 years, and going through just a lot more anxiety, a lot more suffering.
Yeah. Oh, did you hear that?
What's that?
Did you hear that EVP say right? Okay, you have to go back and listen to this, Sarah, and hear that. Right after Jason said that, this spirit voice went right. Who's that? Is there a man that's passed that's very influential in your life spiritually?
Probably my grandpa, yes.
Wow. Right. Just like that. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Words to live by, just straight from grandpa. That was crazy. And I didn't hear that in my psychic mind's eye. I heard that in my headphones, and that was loud. Everybody who's listening, check that out. Go back and listen when the thing starts, finishes playing live and starts doing its repeaty thing. Yeah. And also, sweetie, you knew for a while that you were not growing spiritually in the same way. And in a way, you kind of stopped growing. And that was how you did the catch up.
Yeah.
And that's
absolutely.
That's not the way to play catch up, sweetheart.
No.
That's
it's
just a way to make you unhappy, babe.
Yep.
And you're going to have such a great life once this is all said and done. It's going to be fantastic.
Thank you. I hope so. I have faith. I believe that, things happen for a reason, and I know it's going to be okay. It's just, the blows sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Sure. It's a real crotch puncher. That's my very, very spiritual expression. Did you like that? But it is.
I didn't.
Yeah. Jason didn't like it. He's much sweeter than me. I'm a lot tougher than he is. He's such a good boy. But sometimes that's how it works, right? Sometimes that's how things are from a spiritual perspective. And because we're having a human experience at the same time that we're having a spiritual experience. So just keep the faith, my friend. You're almost done. This part of the lesson is almost over, and there's such good stuff waiting for you beyond this.
Yes. Thank you.
You bet. We love you, and we're thinking about you. Please stay in touch and let us know how you're doing. We would appreciate that. It's wonderful.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
It's wonderful. Look at you with your magic cards.
Right?
You're just magic. Did you pull a card for don't you usually pull a card for the show?
Did I pull a card?
Oh, don't you normally pull a card? Last time you pulled the Empress.
Why don't I have you pull a card?
Oh, I'll pull a card. Sure.
I trust you.
All right. I'm pulling a card.
Can't believe you pulled that card.
I know. What was I thinking? Why did I pull that?
The Five of Swords.
Okay.
The Five of Swords. I see the Five of Swords as a card of, interestingly enough, it's the swords, they represent the mind. And the mind, it likes to know. It likes to be in control. It likes the top dog. But, with the five there, that's when, the mind wants to know so badly that it cuts out the heart and the soul. Right? It's like the vanquished other two people there.
Yeah.
They're represented by the heart and the spirit. And it's like when the mind does that, it's like it can feel like it's like a power for the moment or so, but it's ultimately robbing itself of its team. It's like our body is and our being is like a team effort within ourselves.
Mhm.
You know, it's like many of us can relate to, you know, when our heart wants to go in one direction, but our mind is like, you know, saying, oh no, that's a bad idea. You know, you shouldn't do that. Shouldn't go that way. And it's like, it can kind of deflate us.
Sure.
Right? It can leave us, you know, it's like, well, God, you know, now what do I do? And in like a lot of areas that we feel pulled to go towards, it's like, you know, we can rob ourselves if we're waiting for that permission from our head to just say no, go for it, you know, because our mind will usually want to hold back. It will usually want to just say, well, let's just see, you know, I'm not you know, seeing the benefit of this if I move in this direction, you know, let's just wait, let's just, you know, pull back. And you know, it's like I feel that our heart and our spirit, that they have this big picture that's encoded within us. And when we allow for that energy to have its say, too, not to say that the mind is a bad thing, right? It's when it's all working together, when all these voices have like their equal opportunity to express themselves. That's when we can be in a place of flow, when we can feel like we're being fulfilled, like we're
It's beautiful.
We're in league with our own purpose.
It's beautiful. It's wonderful. You know, it's interesting because I just had a discussion with a friend today about something very similar to that. Yep. So I'll be honest. Let's talk about it. Because we talk about other people's stuff, we'll talk about mine. So I've reached a place in my life where there's some folks in my life that I need to let go of. And letting go of people is not an easy thing for me. But I've gotten to the place where I just realized that there's some folks in my life that have probably always done, or at least I've known about it recently, one very recently, just some not nice things and in regards to me. And it's time to let them go. And I called one of my, you know, big sisters today for a pep talk, Irish one. And of course, the pep talk was just that you intellectually, you meaning me, that I intellectually rationalize things and try to make peace out of things. But the truth is that and that's all well and good, except that spiritually, sometimes things just have to go. And it's one thing to say, look, I can find a way to work this out. I can, and what'd she say? You have 4 choices. You can either just take it and let it ruin your life, or you can sit there and do nothing and know that you're not taking it, but say that you are. Or you can sit there and do nothing. You can sit there and take it and try to make it work. Or you could do what you know you really should do and just walk away. And walking away is very hard because I've been since birth very much a healer and a peacemaker and a fixer and you know, helping people in their lives. And it's not easy for me to just say, you know what, you spiritually are not aligning with me and I got to go. And I almost never do that, even when people have done just horrible things. But she said, you know, you're evolving. And as you evolve and you start to burn brighter and brighter in what you do, there are others that are just not going to like it. And then the trouble starts. So interesting that was the card.
Well, I just pulled these while you're talking about it. The King of Cups is like
looks like Aquaman.
It's kind of Aquamanish.
It's very Aquamanish. It's Neptune, isn't it?
Yeah, well, Poseidon.
Oh,
I
it's
prefer
Poseidon.
the Greeks
as
opposed to the Romans. But yes, the King of Cups is the healer in the world. You know, the clergy, the heartfelt
there I am.
person, the counselor, right?
Yeah.
The spiritual leader, and you're sentimental.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like you don't want to just cut people off.
No.
You know, it's like you want to give them the benefit of the doubt. You want to, you know that everyone has value, and but in between that, the Chariot is the card of choice, and you always have choice, and you always have the choice of who it is that you can associate with, you know, because maybe at this point in your life, you know, maybe, you know, there are people that are pulling you in a direction that you don't want to go.
Yeah.
And and so it is your choice to sever that connection, and it doesn't have to be forever.
Yeah.
It can be just for now, but
Or it can be forever.
or it can.
I mean,
forever,
I think
but
these particular 3 situations that I'm thinking about, it needs to be forever, and I've just held on to it for too long with this idea that I could work it out and that I could make it work.
forever is such a long time.
Yeah, I don't like to say forever, but I like this for an indeterminate amount of time, because I've tried the making peace, and I've tried keeping everything mellow, and I've tried not stepping on any toes. But sometimes you step on toes just based for the basic fact of who you are. You don't have to be doing anything. So what's the third one? What was the third card?
The past, the card of where, it's like one recognizes they have a history with people, and it's like, do you just like feel like you're tossing someone away?
Got it. I thought that was still the choice card, but that's that's the third. Yeah, well, that makes sense, right? And I say all the time that, and I say it here all the time, that if I had my way, like if I had lived in a world without douchiness, I would probably still have.
Song.
Yeah, me too. I would probably still have the same friends from when I was 5. I'd probably still be with the first person I ever loved. Like, I don't need a lot of change. I don't need to like explore a lot of stuff. Like, I wish I had the same pod of people that followed me through life, 3-dimensionally, as I believe I do spiritually. It just spiritually took me a while longer to meet some of them. But I'm not a person that's always restless for the new thing or what's new, or so I think because of that, I've tried to hold on to situations where, just like I gave the advice to Sarah, where I have outgrown people, and also where I have grown into a person that I don't have time in my life anymore for people's troublemaking. And some people just like to create a lot of drama everywhere they go. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's their natural go-to. I don't know if it's boredom or insecurity or feelings of inadequacy, or just that it's just really what gets them off.
All of the above.
But some people just love to spread drama everywhere they go. And, it is what it is, right? I think I'm getting closer to option 4. I wouldn't have said that, but I really believe that I am.
What was option 4 again?
Option 4 was do the thing that you know you're supposed to do and just walk away. That there comes a time where you just have to walk away from people. And I think that's true.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to know what to do, my friend.
It's hard for you.
It's
too,
hard
because,
for me.
The King of Cups, again, is like the one who's attached.
Right. I'm a codependent Poseidon.
A magical trident of attraction, but use it to like stab your opponent.
Codependent Poseidonness. All right, we're going to get Kim on the line. Kim, welcome to the show. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. How are you, Sheena?
Wonderful. It's good to hear from you, honey.
Hi, Kim.
It's good to be talking to you again. Hello.
Did you say hi to Jason? Did you like to sit and listen to my whole discussion about my personal problems on the air? It's supposed to be your personal problems.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, it's a thing, It's because I went through this whole thing this year where this was going to be the year of burying hatchets, and I was going to bury hatchets with everyone, and I'm still giving everybody a round to bury hatchets. But it's just some people don't want you to shine. They don't want you to live your best life, and I've never understood that. Never understood what kind of personality that comes from, because I want everyone I know to live their best life and to be as happy as they can be every second of the day. Can't imagine the opposite. So, Kim, what's on your mind, honey? How may we help you? Jason's getting his cards out. Here we go.
As you know, I've been going through a lot, and you've been wonderful, and you've helped me greatly.
Thank you, sweetheart.
And
my pleasure.
I think I've learned a lot of maybe the final lessons I've needed to learn about relationships.
Good.
And I've let go a lot of people, and I've closed things out and pulled my energy back. And I've met this wonderful man that I've been talking to for going on 6 weeks now. And we've had a couple dates. And I don't feel the usual tension or stress or any of that about how I need to act or be someone I'm not around him. And I was wondering if you could get any energy or maybe give me a little bit of clarity about what's going on between Ed and I.
Well, I think, honey, first of all, while Jason pulls his magic cards, part of the reason that you're feeling less desperate around this situation is that this situation is the first one in a really long time, right? That actually exists in the three-dimensional world. And I'm not saying that you can't meet somebody online that lives in a different place and have a wonderful soul connection with them, because you can. But it's very hard to make that transition between cyber life and real life. And some people just don't want to make it. They go in to have relationships in the cyber world and they never intend to leave the cyber world. It's like a virtual world for them. And in some cases it's virtual cheating, and in some cases it's virtual exploration, and in some cases it's just they don't want to have to deal with the obligations of a real world relationship. So the fact that this is a guy that you're actually seeing in the real world, I think that takes a lot of the, you know who he is, you know what he looks like, you know what he sounds like, you know he can actually show up somewhere and meet you. It's a whole different level of relaxation, right?
Yes. And I am more comfortable around him than I've been with anybody in my life that I've ever dated, including my children's fathers.
That's wonderful.
He's just a really good guy, and I'm not used to that.
Yeah. Yeah, but he is. He's wonderful. And Jason, let's say what Jason thinks. What do the cards say, Jason?
Hi, Kim. You know
Hi.
what I've pulled so far. I'm looking at two cards right now, and they're both about how you're also feeling comfortable with yourself too. As far as the Queen of Swords comes up, that's a card of honesty, you know, within yourself, and the Knight of Wands, which is a card of paying attention to what it is that you want for yourself, and if you're in that place of knowing who it is that you are, knowing what it is that you want, then that's being in a place of comfort within yourself, and that's not something that one is looking for from someone else. One isn't looking for cues of being validated, and so one can become more comfortable. You know, it's like you can just be yourself without you know, having the expectations of anything else to have to occur. You know, because it's like you become kind of you know, just that inner knowing, and that.
Yeah, I'm.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was saying I'm 51, and the guy I'm dating 52.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm finally at a place where I'm liking who I am as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's another important thing that I was going to say, and I think Jason just backed it up. This guy sees you and actually knows what you look like. You don't have to put a fake picture up or do something to your picture, like suck it up with Photoshop. Like, you know, you've been, what your heart really needs is for someone to say, I see you and you're exactly what I want. End of story. That's it. It's that easy.
Yeah. And he has no problem telling me this. And there's really the only thing that could cause some tension is he is being pulled into like 20 different directions from his children and his sister and his mom and all of his friends from all these responsibilities he has. And he's a very giving person who doesn't say no easy.
Right.
So I'm just kind of like, you know what? I'll be patient. You do what you have to do. Call me when you can, and we'll go out.
Good.
And it's
that's
also
very new for me.
Yes.
It's also important to do what you need to do for yourself. You know, to not, you know, wait around for him to, again, like, you know, validate your own direction, your own purpose, whatever it is that you want to do. You know, because that is how one stays in that space of being confident and knowing of oneself. It's like, you know, if you allow for the energy of you know, his family and all that to, you know, get you to where you're bent out of shape, because they're pulling on him and all that. It's like where his journey starts to become yours, and you start to take it on, and then you start to freak out, right? So it's about being firm in knowing who it is that you are, and again moving and doing things that you like doing, and even if it means doing it by yourself.
Exactly.
Just do that.
Yeah.
It's like I pulled the third card, Kim, and it's the like the equivalent to the Fool, or in this deck it's the Initiate, which is the person who allows for the adventure to take place, and just takes a leap of faith, that it will be of benefit to them. And so it's a really great card, but it means that you're growing, and you allow for that growth to take place, and to be in that spirit of it's life, it's an adventure. It's like if you knew exactly how it was all going to work out and all, it's like you'd know already. And it's like, would it be as fun? It's like that's the beauty of growth, is that it takes us to these places that we're not sure about, and can have these unknown qualities, and as we move through them, it's like, okay, I get it, I understand this. So
yeah,
you're at a great age for being in that confidence space.
Yeah, and what a great lesson you're learning in this, that if you want this guy bad enough, you can just be chill, and you can let it evolve the way it's supposed to. Because, it's like I always say, I think I said earlier today, the universe doesn't give a damn about your timeline. When I'm reading for clients, I don't say damn, but I'm on the radio now, so I'm being really good. The universe wants you to relax into this idea that they know what's best, and they know what's going to be the most beautiful experience for you, and they set the timeline. And we, as, puny people that think we're so big, we fight that. But, you wouldn't walk into a college class and say to the professor, okay, I've decided you're going to teach the class this way because I want to learn this way. They would say, get out of my class and get out of my school. It's the same thing. We fight it. But the truth is, the lessons we learn from the universe, the way the universe guides us, being so much bigger and more evolved than we are, and more wonderful and more loving than we could ever hope to be. This is wonderful. This is the great thing in life, that there's this huge force of light that has your back and knows what's best for you, and just wants you to relax. Just relax and let me deliver this guy to you in the right time. And then you don't have to do anything except, like Jason said, live your life and do the things you want to do, and enjoy experiences, and have a full life, instead of sitting home all the time in a panic saying, when is somebody going to love me? Just, to hand the reins over to the universe and say, you know what, you drive. I'm just going to grow. It's all you. And watch.
And I have such a hard time letting go of the reins and control.
I know, sweetheart. I know, babe. I know so much. I know that. But you know what? You're going to learn through this experience with this gentleman, that letting go is the most wonderful, beautiful thing that you can do. This is when it really gets amazing, when you learn to let go.
And it's been a journey, but I think I've finally reached that point where, what's going to happen is going to happen, and, I'll react accordingly, I guess.
Well, but that's okay, right? I mean, you're just going to now say, whatever universe, whatever you can say this every night before you go to bed, sweetheart. Say, universe, whatever you want to deliver to me, I'm ready. I'm here. I love you. I'm ready to love. I'm ready to have wonderful experiences. I'm ready to love myself more. You just all need to tell me when this is all happening, and I'm ready to receive. And you would be amazed how much of a difference that makes in your life. Because most people are treating the universe like they're the valet, and giving them explicit instructions for where to park the car, and how not to get to spill anything on the dashboard, and and what are we? We're like a 10,000-year-old species. I mean, we're babies. I mean, somewhere crocodiles are like, oh yeah, I remember when I was a special toddler and got everything wrong. Now, what do crocodiles do? They just float in the muck and they wait for a meal. They're smart. They know to wait. What do sharks do? Sharks just float in the water and they wait for some poor seal to drop its pup near them, and then they have a meal. We haven't gotten to that place of understanding that the true bliss in life comes from just waiting for it to come. That's what's beautiful. You just wait for for somebody to drop a disenchanted toddler or, a really big juicy fish in your way, and then you eat. We're so busy chasing everything because we're such newbies. Trust me, just sit back and let this happen, sweetie. You're going to love it.
That's what I'm doing, and that's the scary part. But I'm also enjoying the change that I see in myself.
Good.
I'm having just as much fun with that, learning like who I'm supposed to be.
Right. Just like Jason said, that's part of the lesson.
About him.
Yes.
Growth can be scary, because it's like we're in these growing pains. It's like our feet can be off the ground. We may not feel like we're in a place of knowing the process of where that growth is taking us. Mm-hmm. But as we plateau, as we get to a point of like, okay, I see, this is the lesson. Mm-hmm. Then we can take that and then apply that to more experiences, because it doesn't stop there.
Nope.
It doesn't stop there. It keeps going. We're human beings. We're being. We're verbs. We're always in action.
Right. We're called human beings. We're not called human controllings. But what if we were?
Thank you.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you,
so much.
Sweetheart, you're going to be in such good shape, and we love you, and you take care of you and let us know how you're doing, and we're just here to help. That's what we do here on Lightworkers Unite. We serve because it feels good to serve, doesn't it, my friend? Jason? Feels good to serve.
Yes.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah. If anybody wonders what I'm doing right now, Jason, quick pull. I keep putting my ice pack keeps falling out of my knee, and I keep putting it back in. So here I go. Bloop.
I'm still wondering if I'm one of those friends that you have to 86.
Yes. No.
No.
You would know. Well, I guess no. I guess malignant narcissists never know they are, right? I don't know why that is such an issue in this incarnation of my life, that I keep running into these that cause this kind of trouble.
But there are people who do not see themselves. They do not see their actions. They do not see the consequences of their actions.
It's true.
They just need to either be the center.
Yeah.
And always be the center. And they don't see anyone else.
Yep, that's true. And if they think for some reason you're stealing their light, even if you're just lit up in your own corner, not having anything to do with them, it becomes a very strange situation.
We all have light.
Yeah, I know, but some people don't see their own. So they think they're going to eat yours.
There's definitely enough light to go around.
I know, right? It's that scarcity consciousness, right? There is no loss of light. There's no lack of anything. You just have to find what belongs to you.
Yeah.
But some folks have a hard time with that, and it makes me sad. I mean, I'm always trying to raise the vibration so much here that I don't even like to talk about stuff like that. But it's just sort of a thing that I've run up against in my life, where I'm realizing that I just need to move in a different direction with some folks. But, this is not a pity party for me. I will play the world's smallest violin for myself for just a minute, just a tiny concerto, and we're done. That, as that has happened, wonderful people have moved into my life 15-fold. It's just that it's I guess it's with as much as I tell people about problems, and I work with clients, 2, 3, 4, 5 clients a day. I never cease to get gobsmacked by the fact that there are folks that just tear other people down for seemingly no reason. I just don't understand that. I guess it's just something where I'm a special toddler in that sense, and I need to grow up a little bit so I can get it.
I just pulled some cards for you.
Yay! It's cards for Sheena Day.
Because we're giving back to Sheena too. And a couple of 5s come up, the 5 of Cups, the 5 of Swords.
Interesting.
Again, interesting.
Again, and the 5 of Swords for me.
Yeah, and then the Page of Pentacles. And it's like, the 5 of Cups, I feel, is a card of letting go. Because,
let it go,
some people, situations, we invest in them. We give them love, we give them attention, we give them our gifts. And some people can't hold that gift. You know, they're like the cup that falls over, and our gift just spills out. And, you know, we can focus on that person, that situation, and say, well, how come they can't hold the gift that I keep giving them, you know, and keep obsessing about the vessel. Or we can move on. We can let go.
Yep.
And, you know, so it's a card of being able to see the vessels, the people that, you know, you're in concert with, and where you're building something, and you focus on that, and you move away, or you let go of the ones that are not, who are not there for you. And, you know, it's the fives in the tarot. They're cards that kind of throw us off balance a little bit, you know, because we thought maybe we're in a solid place. But as we're advancing forward, as we're, you know, in action, it's like, you know, sometimes we have to make readjustments.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's about a period of readjusting. And what's interesting about the Page of Pentacles is that's the person who has that clarity and talks about it, puts it out there in the universe, because that creates opportunities for, you know, it's like someone could be listening that is more solid, let's say, and they reach out to you. They can be, you know, one of those people that come in to kind of replace the people that are not, you know, that are on their way out.
Yeah.
Let's say.
Yeah, absolutely. And that happens every time, right?
Yeah.
Once I had somebody leave my life, and another person came in the next week with the exact same birth date.
Huh.
Is that weird? That's
Yeah.
like an even. That's like when you go to Walmart, you return something for the same thing, and they just do an even swap. You don't even need a receipt. They just say, just take it. That's what's kind of.
Except it's a better item. It doesn't
So
have like
right.
a cigarette burn
So it's not
in it
broken.
or something.
Exactly. It's not broken. Yes. Yes. Exactly. All right. We're gonna get Elisa on the phone right now, and so if you want to get online with us, I'm feeling so many calls right now. I keep forgetting to let people know. 818-437-0886. That's my cell phone. That's the number. Send us send me a text with your name and maybe your email if you want, and then we'll get you on the air. We'll give you a call. Elisa, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Great. It's wonderful to have you here. Welcome, and say hi to Jason, and how may we help you, sweetheart?
Hi, Jason.
Hi, Elisa.
And hi, Miss Sheena.
Hi, honey.
This is my first time on the show.
I know. I'm so glad.
So I guess what I would like to know, I've been on a spiritual journey.
Okay.
And I'd just like to know a little more about that journey. I feel myself going through so many different physical changes with vibrations and headaches and just pressure. And sometimes it's a bit overwhelming.
Sure.
But I think it's all related to where I am spiritually.
I
But
agree.
I would just like a little more insight.
I think your body is trying to catch up and acclimate to all the spiritual changes that you've made. And know that a body is sometimes a little more fragile in some ways, and it takes it a while to readjust to all the movement inside of you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So give it a little bit of a break, sweetheart. Let it do its thing. Let it find its way.
Okay.
And don't fear the changes. Don't fear the differences. Don't fear that you feel different. All of it is the way it's supposed to be. You just have to trust. You know, you're growing in the way at the speed that you're supposed to be growing, and in all the ways that you're supposed to be growing. And sometimes I think those feelings that you're having, the physical symptoms, are your physical body fighting the flow of what's happening with you spiritually and saying, well, wait a minute, what's going on now? Why are we getting rewired now? What's happening? And that's normal.
Right.
It's normal.
Yeah. It is a bit challenging. I had to get tubes inserted into my ears, and I just have right even right now, as soon as you reached out to me, and I was sitting quiet, meditating, and just the vibrations and the pressure in my head and just the energy that I can feel flowing. And just sometimes it feels like my head is going to explode.
Right. Well, what are your ears? Your ears are listening. Your ears are balance. These are all things you've had trouble with. You know, the universe has been trying to tell you where you're going, but you haven't really been hearing. And also, you have a hard time with balance. You give too much, and you don't let enough come back to you. You don't receive enough, and you don't ask others to give to you enough.
And I can absolutely, that resonates with me. It does. Wow.
And Jason pulled some cards for you. Are you excited? Here we go.
You know,
Okay.
I was just shuffling, and a card jumped out.
Oh.
Actually, the Queen of Wands.
Oh, nice.
That one just jumped out right at the very beginning, and it was like, wow, okay. I know that this is kind of going to be a caller who is like of, where spirit is kind of an important part of it.
Yes.
You know, where one's recalibration. You know, because I feel that your body is recalibrating to your spiritual growth. And the Queen of Wands, for me, it's, because the wands, they represent spirit, it's a card of where, it's the keeper of the flame. And that flame is, that motivation that keeps us in a direction towards our own purpose, why it is that we're here. And we're encoded, our being is encoded with the direction that we need to be going in. And sometimes it doesn't start to blossom within us until a later date, right?
Right,
so
right.
It's not that, one can feel like, oh, I've been cheated because I didn't know, what I was supposed to do until I was in my 30s. Or, it's like where one allows, it's like, we all get our driver's license at 16 or 17 or 18. We don't come out of the womb just ready to get behind the wheel and start driving. It's like allowing for, the process to unfold. Looking at a couple of other cards that I pulled, it's like part of the growth forward is to allow for connection, deeper connection with others, to to not like block your own heart center from reaching out. And and it can be in very I want to say like minor situations. Sometimes we're in line at a grocery store or something where it's like we can just kind of be in our own bubble. We can, without seeing other people, it's just we're in line, and it's just like I just want to, get through this, and without like taking the time to just kind of like look around to see people, if there's like someone who has one item who's behind you, or an elderly person, or someone who's like having a little bit harder of a time, where you let them kind of like go ahead of you, just like allowing for these simple, kind gestures to, to be part of your daily routine, and to see people, to see what it is that they're going through, and to kind of open up to their journey. And again, it's like it can be just small things like that. It doesn't have to be, where you're, having to be like a preacher or anything, about spirit and all that. It's like spirit in action, showing that.
I understand.
And allowing for also yourself to not get overwhelmed, because the third card that comes up, the Seven of Wands, it's just a card of like where we can get overwhelmed with this awakening within ourselves. It's like where we can like prioritize our actions, so that we're not trying to do too much at once, where we can just do one thing really well, and then build upon that with another thing. As far as, are you a creative person? Or are you like
You are, right?
I am, and it's so funny. I've been like busy and preoccupied, and I just started trying to do creative things on a more frequent basis. So I've started making jewelry.
Good.
And it's important to like, finish what you start. Sometimes when that card comes up, it's about the person who it's like they're saying, oh, I want to do this piece, and I want to do that one, and I want to do that one, and they all kind of start to work on different pieces all at once without just finishing one and then moving to the next.
Yeah.
And then it's important to not just feel like you're juggling all of these balls up in the air, and none of them are landing. None of them are becoming like a thing of manifestation. So it's again important for you to see what it is that you're inspired to do come into being, come into a manifested place, and just go from there. Just start from there. Start finishing some of these pieces, and presenting them as gifts too. To people that mean something to you.
Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah. And just sweetie, spend more time with you. Spend more time with you. Just really have dates with yourself. You need to give yourself back some love and some care. And you need to spend much more time with yourself just having fun. So, tonight I'm just going to put on 3 movies that I like, or 3 movies I've wanted to see, and I'm just going to sit in front of the TV and make jewelry. And just let yourself have that time, because you have so much time for everybody else and not nearly enough time for you. And sometimes how you grow on your spiritual journey is you just live in the now. You just live in the isness. Because we spend so much time worrying about what's to come and what happened, we forget how important it is to just, nothing centers you like being right now in the isness. Like right now, I'm here with all of you trying to get on the air. I'm in my psychic mind because I'm doing readings. I'm here with Jason, whom I love. So I'm with a friend. I'm at a place that I love, and I'm not doing anything or thinking about anything else except what's happening right now. That is such a centering thing, because we don't spend enough time in the now, in the present.
So you both are spot on. So let me tell you.
We love you, sweetheart.
I feel like you know me and know me well.
I do. I see you sitting in front of those movies with making that jewelry. So I want to see that happening. You've got my cell, sweetie. Text me pictures of the jewelry. We love you so much. We want the best for you, and we're giving you a giant virtual hug, and we're thinking about you. And you take care of you, my friend. This has been lovely to speak with you.
Thank you, Elisa.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you. To get on live, 818-437-0886. That's 818-437-0886. I got you busy today, right? You're going to get carpal tunnel from all the card flipping. We don't mess around here. We make you work here on Lightworkers Unite on the Sheena Metal Experience.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you want to see any of these past broadcasts that we've done, that LA Talk Radio has been so wonderful about filming them all for us and putting them up on Facebook Live, you can go to my YouTube channel, and it's youtube.com/Sheena Metal, and just, you can shop around and look at things you want to watch. But if you want to go right to these, go to Lightworkersunite.com. And soon I'm going to start a Facebook page just for us. But I already know that our banner is going to say, when you grow your tribe, you grow your vibe. Lightworkersunite.com. How about that?
Love that.
Because that's all of us, right? We're
that.
growing a tribe, and then we're growing our vibe and everybody else's vibe through growing the tribe. So,
and the tribe puts the vibe out into the world, into the ethers.
Absolutely. Yep. And then the whole vibration of everything, the whole lifts, which is so beautiful. We're going to get Susan on with us right now. Susan, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Great. It's great to have you here.
Let me turn down your show. I'm watching it so you don't get any back feed.
Turn us down so that you can turn us up.
I just wanted to let you know I have a bit of a frog in my throat.
That's okay.
Squeaks. That's what that is.
I think it's going around. I had it a couple days on the air where I had to keep. So I think it's happening.
I'm on week 3 of it. It's real fun.
Oh, honey, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
It's usually when it starts to clear up, though.
Yeah.
it might be a manifestation of some things happening. So.
Oh, I'm sure. Where you feel like you don't have a voice.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Sure.
Nailed that one on the head.
Well, sometimes you just pull them out of. Let me tell you, if the universe isn't screaming the answers at me, my mother is just screaming and screaming and screaming and screaming. When Jason was telling me about how I should move away from some people in my life, my mom in my ear says, "Well, maybe you'll listen to Jason." Because I guess that means I don't listen to her. So maybe if Jason tells you, then you'll listen. That's what it's like to be haunted by a Scorpio after death. It's pretty awesome, but but I have to give her a hard time, just like I did when she was alive, because she's not any different. How may we help you, sweetheart? What's on your mind? What's going on?
I'll try and make it in a nutshell as much as possible.
Sure.
I didn't date for a very long time, and by a long time I mean almost 10 years.
Okay.
Being told and also understanding that I'm somewhat of an empath, I unhealthily built some very thick walls. About a year ago, I met a person, and he's younger than I am.
Okay.
And to put it lightly, he's been a disruptor in my life in the best of ways and the worst of ways.
Okay.
I know that I have also been a disruptor in his life, bringing some answers to his, I would probably say, self-induced chaos. I'm definitely a believer that everyone is put in each other's lives for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I guess just the same old story. Has it run its course, or are we supposed to still be in each other's lives? There's been being the empath that I tend to be, and the healer. You were just earlier saying how you were the codependent healer.
Mm-hmm.
I can identify with that. There's some talks about making some pretty lifelong decisions, such as perhaps bringing another life into this world.
Okay.
One of which I've always said I didn't want to be a mother, but that now that that's come to light more than once, I'm just kind of wondering if I'm supposed to stay with this person or if it's time to break ties and move on. I know it's pretty drastic. If this, then so. If not, then that. And I'm not really sure if I'm seeing, what's the term, the forest through the trees, or the trees from the forest. Wondering if you might be able to help me, give me some advice that's clearly would be, from an outside perspective, I'm feeling a little lost.
Okay. I think, if I might pop in really quick, Jason, I think you know this, sweetheart. I don't think I have to tell you this, but I'm going to tell you anyhow. I think that where you're at, both of you, in this relationship right now, you're in absolutely no place to bring another person into it. Because it's just too unsettled. It's too tumultuous. It's too all over the place. It's too back and forth. And you guys have to figure out where your happy place is, where your sort of Zen place is, where you really meet in the middle before you start to think about bringing another person in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. So then do I check out and move on like I've been so known to do in my past, or do I actually stick around and try and make this work?
It's interesting because you say that you're a runner, but you don't feel like a runner. You say that you're a runner, but it feels like you hang on by your toenails longer than you should, but then afterwards you think you ran. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So you're not really a runner. You're really a clinger who doesn't even think you're clinging enough, because when you finally just absolutely cannot take it because it's so unhealthy for you, you get disappointed in yourself for walking away. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not a runner, sweetie. A runner is somebody who runs when things are good, or runs when somebody says, "Oh, I'm sick," and then you say, "Oh, I can handle this," and I run. That's not you at all. The reason that I said the thing about bringing the person into the world is that you described yourself as him. First, you described you described that you were disruptors in each other's lives. That's not a good energy to bring another person into.
Okay, yeah.
It's not even a good energy for the two of you. I think what you need to do is, and then Jason's pulled some cards for you, and they're already ready to go. I think what you need to do is you need to really figure out, sweetheart, where you're really at with him, and really evaluate him for who he is in your life outside of the heart-pulling feelings that you have. Because it feels to me like he has a lot of growing to do.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to get out of the relationship or run away, but it means that you have to look at him for exactly who he is, which is he has a lot of growing to do, and his immaturity makes him very self-centered. So you always feel like if you're not constantly bending and compromising to his every whim, then somehow you've become a disruptor in his life. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
So
yes,
not playing everybody's game and not facilitating everyone's immaturity, that's not being a disruptor in someone's life, but it is kind of being a parent. Do you know what I mean? So if you have
I've kind of referred to him as being a child of
if you have a 10-year-old son and he wants to go stay out till 1 o'clock every morning shoplifting and skateboarding, and you tell him he can't, and you ground him to his room, then in his mind you're a disruptor because you have disrupted his life by putting a stop to it. And I think that's almost sort of how it is for this guy. Like, you become a disruptor when you say, I can't hang with this any longer. That's not being a disruptor. You know?
Setting boundaries instead.
Setting boundaries, yeah. And every time you guys get into it over something because he's not growing up enough, that's not you being a disruptor. That's you just saying, I can't handle this. So I think you need to not always take responsibility. It's good to take responsibility for things you've done, but you shouldn't always take responsibility for what you haven't done, because then an imbalance begins to develop in the relationship. Now, there's always an imbalance in a parent-child relationship because, one, you're not going to break up with your child, and unless you're a total a-hole. And secondly, because a child is learning, and it's the idea that as the child gets older, these immature acts will happen less and less and less until they're grown. But with a fully formed human being, allegedly, that kind of thing should not go on and on and on indefinitely. You know, he's got to grow up, and I know he doesn't want to, and in some ways he hasn't had to because you haven't forced him to. But he's not a baby, and it's time for him to grow up a little bit, you know? It's time for him to put on his spiritual big boy pants. I'm sorry?
I said go ahead.
I said it's time for him to put on his spiritual big boy pants and walk like a man a little bit down his path.
Yeah, he frequently uses his PTSD from being deployed in Afghanistan. I feel, yes, there is PTSD, but I also feel it's also a story.
I feel like it's an excuse for him not to have to do anything with his life.
Yes.
Doesn't mean he doesn't have it. It just means we all have something. You know?
We all do, yeah. And I don't want to be mightier than now that I moved on, so should you. But should I give up and move on?
No, I think what we're going to see what the cards say with Mighty Jason here. We're going to have some wizardry in a moment. I think you should just keep moving slowly with him, but now with more of a field of vision where you're understanding and you're opening your eyes and understanding more what's really going on with him, so that you can then make a better informed decision. It's hard to make a decision about where you're going when your eyes are squinted almost shut. So
and I feel like I'm blindfolded in it of my own doing, and I'm very upset that I've gotten to this point, and I can't. My emotions are blinding me, so that's kind of why I'm reaching out.
Exactly, and that's why you should reach out, sweetheart. Just open your eyes a little bit, and then see how it feels when your eyes are open and when you're ready to put down some boundaries and set a little bit of boundaries. Jason, what do the cards say?
I pulled, it's Susan, right?
Hi, yes.
Hi. I pulled 3 cards, and they're all like royalty cards, court cards. The Queen of Pentacles. You come up as the Queen of Pentacles, and that's a real solid citizen. the Queen of Pentacles. It's like someone who is able to make adult choices and to be in a place of knowing what it is that you want. All right. And he interestingly comes up as the King of Swords, which the King of Swords is a person who uses their words and all their story, to kind of usurp our own, as far as like to as a King of Swords, that's someone who like tries to be on top or be at their most powerful when they're using their words or their communications to get what it is that they want, and to change our own opinions and all to again kind of get their way, and to
That's
use
very true.
any the it's always about like the energy of and the passion that one uses, whether they're arguing for their strengths or their weaknesses, and
Yeah.
and it can be something that dissuades us or dissuades you from knowing what it is that is best for you, knowing what's best for a decision about how you want to move on. And with those two cards too, it shows me the importance of the relationship as well. That it does have gravitas to it. It has this importance to you. It's like you don't want to just toss it away. It's been an important part of your life.
Pardon my emotion reaction.
It's all right, sweetheart. You can get emotional here. This is a totally safe place for you. This is where you should.
The third card, the Knight of Cups, and the Knight of Cups is a card of when it comes to like relationships and all. He's kind of a player, that the knight is not to say that your guy is playing the field, but
we're in an open relationship.
There you go.
It's because of this.
I just want to say for the record, I made the face at the camera, but didn't want to say anything.
It's a card of a where one is not as serious, or the energy between like the two players is not a serious partnership in that it because partnerships need to evolve. It's like they need to have that seriousness. Certainly if they bring another human or a bunch of humans into the world, it's like you're not just messing around, you're not just playing around, it's like you're getting serious. And the Knight of Cups is not a serious card. It's the energy of it is very just where he could be there one day and then he's not the next, and so you can't depend on him to always be consistent and all, and to actually come up with a pretty good excuse of why he missed a certain date or whatever. It's just because it's,
sure.
And getting you on board with that. So I feel that all relationships are ones of choice, right? And it's like if you know the score, if you know the patterns, if you know that deep down it's difficult for you to trust that he will rise up to being the man that he needs to be, then it's going to leave you holding the ball. It's gonna leave you holding a couple kids in your arms,
Mm-hmm.
and it's gonna, you're gonna be bearing the brunt of it. And not to say that you can't, because again, with that Queen of Pentacles, it's like you would rise up to the occasion to do it, but it's a lot harder. It's a lot harder.
Yeah, why add that?
And this is not my business, but I'm just going to say it because now I'm on a roll. Do you
Sure.
Do you really want to be in an open relationship?
I wanted to try it, and then it quickly became, well, I don't want you to be able to do it because I have jealousy issues, but I like it that I'm able to. I'm like, well, that's not fair.
That's weird.
And he's just like, well, I can't handle it. And again, using words like, I love you so much, it would destroy me. And I'm also fluid, so I'm like, well, okay, how about I just explore the woman side of things? And even then, he's a little, I don't know. But part of me just wants to cut ties with everything. But also at the same time, this is, and not to say someone that's been a parent, a part of my life, possibly in a past life, is a good thing.
Sure.
As we all know.
Yeah.
But is this something I'm supposed to stick around for in this life? And I'm kind of at this crossroads where I'm ready to make these difficult decisions. It's going to be difficult if I have to split. I don't really want to, but I feel like I'm in a giant cloudy mud pile and I can't see correctly, whereas if I were someone else helping a friend, I would have a better, clear decision. So,
yeah,
ideally, it would be great if we could be monogamous, but given how we started the relationship, I didn't expect to have so many feelings for this person. So, and it was a friend of mine who is in the active open community was like, you let that outweigh you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm all about everyone live their own lives, do what you got to do.
Me too.
People are very happy with the open relationship, but this is very one-sided at this point. So
yeah, and that's ridiculous. There's no reason why. You should live your life. If it's open and that's what you both want, then you should just do what you want. And he doesn't have to know everything that you do. I mean, come on. If it's open, that means you don't have to tell everybody everything. So he's not telling you everything. I just feel like it's a lot of you giving and not being given back to. And that's why I asked that question, because it just feels like a very imbalanced situation. I mean, I think it's open relationships. I mean, if that's what floats your boat, fantastic. Good. Yay.
Right.
But both people have to be on board with it or it's just cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does tell me, every twice and stuff. It does make me physically uncomfortable at times. But I appreciate the honesty. I'd rather know about it than not know about it. Lately, it's become due to a job change where I'm working different hours. These work nights, I work days. I don't see this person as much. And so I feel like they're upset that I'm around as much. So there's more trysts. And he does tell me about them, but I'm kind of getting sick of it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, so should I stick around? Because this is a love I've never felt before.
If you like being in the mud.
Out of some walls.
Yeah.
Sorry, say that again?
If you like being in the mud, then stick around. Because that's what one does in the mud is just
yeah. I mean, I really think, sweetie, that you just need to start looking at this for what it is and then figure out how you feel about it. Because it feels at this point like romantically, it's a lot more of an addiction than it is love. Like you're more scared to let him go than you are scared than you're actually in love with him. Because the relationship as you're describing it to Jason and me, and we don't judge, but it doesn't sound that great. It sounds like you're not allowed to. It's an open relationship where you can't be open, and he insists on being really open about being open, TMI. And, he wants all this stuff. He wants to be with you. He wants to have a kid. He wants to settle down, but settle down into an open relationship where one of you is miserable and he wants to be a child and not do much with his life. And I mean, he really wants a mommy, I think. He wants someone to be his home base so he feels safe to go out and play and explore things. But you did not sign up for that, sweetheart. That's not your job,
Okay.
You're not mom, and you're not the sergeant, and you're not you're not his parole officer. You're a person who's supposed to be in love with him, and a giving love relationship should just have different boundaries, I think. Just my opinion.
Okay.
And the universe's. And probably Jason's. But mostly we just want you to be okay, sweetie, and not be unhappy, because we love you, and thank you so much for the call, and please stay in touch and let us know how you're doing, and we'll be thinking about you.
Absolutely. We want people to be fulfilled.
Absolutely fulfilled.
And at some point, you know, if one wants to bring a person into the world, have a baby,
Yeah.
you know, it's like creating the environment where that baby is nurtured, because it takes a lot for that to take place. You
Yeah.
know? It's like so much.
Mm-hmm. And that pretty much is our show, my friend.
What?
I know, right? What? Where do you? If you didn't make it on today, we're going to be doing this. I will be here for Haunted Playground on Tuesday from 12 noon to 2 p.m. Pacific time, and then back Tuesday evening doing another show, another Lightworkers Unite with my friend Rebecca Haywood. It's Psychic Tuesdays, might be what it turns out to be, where we do all the reading shows in the same day, except when Jason comes, because he can only come on Thursday. So today it's Psychic Thursday. Where can people find you, my friend?
They can find me at jasondmckean.com, JASONDMCKEAN.com. And thank you so much for having me back here.
Oh my God, I
hope
absolutely loved it.
Be able to come back again.
You're always
sometime.
welcome to come back again. And you can find me at IamRaisingYourVibration.com. That's my psychic site. And Sheena Metal Spiritual, which we are building up right now and making truly amazing. Also, I'm at IamRaisingTheVibration.com and RaisingTheVibration.org. That's my movement of peace, love, kindness, and unity. And of course, here at LA Talk Radio, the Sheena Metal Experience. It's my daily show. And also latalkradio.com, because that's my home for over 10 years now. Can you believe that?
Congratulations.
Please let me know how you're doing. I'm available for private sessions. Jason is too. Jason, are you still doing your radio show?
Yes, I am. Wizard Talk is on Thursdays, but I didn't do it today because I'm doing your show.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm sorry that we didn't do Wizard Talk.
No.
But-
This was like better.
Oh, okay. This is like two wizards talk.
Right. It's like
It's just switching out one wizard for two. Thank you all so much for today. And if you want to get on a future show with us for a live reading, 818-437-0886. That's my cell phone. Please use it. It's the Sheena Metal Experience on LA Talk Radio. And you know what happens here, my friends? Every Monday through Friday. This is like two wizards. Whoop, that was weird. Hang on. That was bizarre. That was the
it was like two
that was
wizards.
the Facebook Live coming back to get us. Okay. It's the Sheena Metal Experience. And you know what happens here? One more time. Every Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific time, we rip the veil off the human sideshow and expose those big old Homo sapiens at their most bizarre sometimes and at their most beautiful every single day. And you know it's my show, and that's true, my friends, because it is my show. But what it really is, it's your experience. Thanks for listening. Have a great night, and I'll see y'all tomorrow right here on LA Talk Radio.
Irreverent, entertaining, cool. You're listening to LA Talk Radio.